Well, hey there. Hey, Barrett. I'm trying to be quiet this morning because Sleepyhead's still in bed. So we boys napping. That's funny. Already? That's funny. So I'm going to try to be quiet here, but what I'm doing is I thought about this last night, and I need to go back to a better way of supporting this roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this 4x6 here on the channel, and then we're going to go inside the container and put supports every 10 feet on these footings. And I think I can just do it out here and then slide them inside. And I have some little parts here I'm going to use to attach them. So we're going to make this a 4x4. And let's see here. I'm going to stick them in there and do it the other way so I can see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 4x4 and we're going to set it up against here. Okay, and that should fit. We may have to do, you know what, this is why I did those 2 2x4s. Yeah, that's why I did 2 2x4s last time. So we're going to go back to that. Which will give us 3 inches. If I could get my pointer. Let's get us some wood color. What I'd like to do is notch this. Let's see that we're back there. Is that down on there? Oh, I can't see. There we go. Like that. And then up here. I don't know if this is the best way to do this. I think it is. I think it's the cheapest way to do it. Because if you did this, you could... Let's just think about this for a second. So you'd have two of these. Well, why is that? That's weird. There we go. I don't know if it's going to do any good to notch that or not. We got to find a way to attach it. Really, all you're trying to do is support this channel. Oh, hey Rex. So I'm trying to, you know what just occurred to me is that if you want to join this, I was going to put this up here this time, and we can figure this out, how you want to do this. Oops, wrong button. That'll be like the hangout. I'll put my headphones on if you want to join. That way I can screen share. What I do is I screen share there, and then I go back to here. But what's funny is in that other, in the other container, for Laszlo's, I got this section thing here so I can cut through the building and work on it. All I did was I showed the two 2x4s, and we kind of overlooked it, to be honest with you, on how the detail of it. We just said we're going to stick them in there, but now I'm thinking this is starting to come up more and more, so I need to come up with a solution for this. So these containers, I think this is about an inch. I think this is only like 1.5 inches deep, 1 5/8 deep. This might be something we could do. You could help me with. Yeah, see that? I think this one would go up to the ceiling, and then we could run a bolt, like a tech screw into the. Let me get rid of that thing. So this one down here would be easy, because you could just, since it's got a wood floor system, you can just take some one of those Simpson clip angles. Oh shoot. What the heck, man? I'm having trouble with my. Like that, or something like that, and then this could just be really, you could just take a tech screw type bolt, can't get anything to cooperate this morning. That on there. Yeah. Like this would be like a tech screw. Like that. But I don't know what you think about that. Like I said, the last time we did this, of course, he hasn't built his yet, so it hasn't had to be inspected. So what I'm thinking is and that could be more centered on our 10 foot. Let's see if we go to the next one. It's just going to be wherever I meant to make this all one component. So what I meant to do was select this, that, and that. And our bolt, so make component. It's going to be our post, we'll call it. And I think whichever one of these is closest, well, shoot, what happened to my, oh, I had both. Now everything should move. Yeah. Well, what in the world? I thought I had everything selected, but so I got to cut it, paste it back in there. Okay, now, so it would be whichever one of these flat spots. Looks like it doesn't really matter. It's either or. And then we would have, hey Rex, you might be muted. You might be muted. Oh shoot, let me turn my YouTube side volume off. You might be oh wait. Oh shoot, let me turn my you'd have YouTube side. Yeah, but you'd have to use headphones because my speaker's gonna your speaker's gonna feed back into my microphone. You'd have but you'd have to use headphones because my speaker's gonna your speaker's gonna feed back into my microphone. You'd have to use headphones because my speaker's gonna. Let me mute you.
Okay, let me get some speakers.
Mute yourself there. Mute yourself there. You see, it's yeah, you see it's feeding back through. If you don't use headphones, it'll feed back through your speaker will feed back into your microphone. And hello, Free Living House. Can you all hear me on the YouTube side? Okay, thank you. I didn't want to mute myself on the YouTube side. Let's see, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And let's see, can you see the drawing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm still getting. You see the drawing? I'm still getting feedback.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my You see the drawing?
It'll just get worse as it goes along.
Yeah, it'll just get worse as it goes along.
See, if you go into, hey Rex, look at my screen. You see these little dots down here on the corner, the side? If you go there, you can go into the settings, and set up your speaker and your microphone. And that way, it might be that you need to set up your headphones as the speaker instead of the coming out of your. Are you on a laptop? Yeah. So that's what it is. If you go into these settings, you can set up your, you can set up your speaker as your headphones. That's how I have mine, so that the volume doesn't come out of my laptop speakers. But anyway, let me go. What do you think about this? I guess I won't be able to hear you. But I think these, the wall, there's a channel here, right, on the bottom of the container, right? And that's what we're trying to transfer the load to. So if we took 2 2x4s, and this is what we did on Loslo's, I just didn't detail it like this. And we put them in here, and so one of them sat under the channel, and the other one bolted to the face. That way it kind of held it, and then you nailed them together. They were nailed together down through here. So in this case, we don't really need this clip angle. I don't think I'm going to need that for anything else. I'm going to put it out here just for a minute. But what I did was, let me move this section out here. I need to create another one over here so I can look in the other direction. Go this way. I was thinking about this last night, and what we did on Loslo's also is we put this, instead of putting 2 2x4s down there, we put on his we put a 4x4. We could either put I think the best thing to do is to put a 4x6 there, and then what we've done is we've created every 10 feet, like that's our header, and then every 10 feet we have our double. So I don't think the building inspector would even flinch at that. What do you think about that? You think that'll work for you? Okay. I'm sorry you can't. Can you I think if I cut these out here and I put them in this wall, they'll show up on the other side, because I think I made that a component. I'm pretty sure I did. Paste in place. So that way, now if I go back to the other side, like this. This the active cut, and then move. They should have shown, yeah, cool. Cool. So they're over here too now. Yeah. Okay, good. And then let's make sure that and then on this foam, let's see. I was trying to think on this foam if we needed to double this or not. Because you could use, if you're going to use the wedged, you could buy the, I need to wait till he comes back. I was going to ask him about this foam. We really don't need to use if I delete that, will that one go away? Can you hear me, Rex?
I can hear you.
Oh, I think it's working now.
It's funny, it's not picking up on this. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. No, it's still getting... I wonder if that's me.
Funny, it's not picking up on this. Yeah.
You know what we can do, Rex? I tell you what, let's mute ourselves. I'm going to call you. We'll use the phone. Let's see, will that work? No?
You know what we can do, Rick? I tell you what, let's mute ourselves. I'm going to call you. We'll use the phone. Let's see, will that work? No?
I'm trying to, let me see. Do you still have sound coming out of your speakers? Yeah, that's what it is.
Do you still have sound coming out of your speakers?
That's an echo.
Do you still have sound coming out of your speakers?
We won't be able to. Sometimes what I'll do with some people is I'll talk to them on the phone and I'll screen share with them. Like so you can turn your audio off, or I can mute my audio.
Why isn't it picking it up?
Wait, I think you fixed it. Can you still hear me? Uh-oh. Now I can't hear you. There's the little controls down here that you're not muted down here, are you? Down here on the bottom. But you can hear me. Well, I can just barely hear you. It's almost like it's like the volume's down really low. Yeah, I can just barely hear you. Oh, wait a minute. Whatever you just did. Can you hear me now? It sounded like it was getting better there for a second when you were fooling with the jack.
Sounded like it was getting better there for a second when you were fooling with the jack.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now, can you see the model now? You should be able to see the model.
Yeah, it's kind of delayed.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was going to say is I wonder if we use a 2x4 right here on this edge, and you used tapered, like the taper that goes down to like a 1/2 inch. Would that be?
Nah, it's still not working.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I don't know what the deal is. I was better on YouTube.
I'll tell you what. Let's just go back. Well, what I'll do, let me call you on the phone, and then you can watch YouTube, and we'll do it that way.
Okay.
We'll cut this off, and then we'll go back to. How about that?
Okay.
Hey, Tony.
Hey Rex, how's it going?
Good. I don't know why just could not get any of those microphone headphones to work. But
That's okay. I've done it this way before.
yeah.
So what I was asking was, we've got we've got this foam insulation, on top of the.
What I was asking was.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably have to mute the.
Yeah, I muted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got this insulation. Let's see. Yeah, right on top of the. I wonder if a 2x4 would stick up high enough, just one 2x4, so that you could use like the wedged insulation that goes down to like a 1/2 inch or almost nothing, and then start going up at your with your wedged insulation, the tapered insulation from there. Or do you think we need the 2x4s on the edge?
Well, I would probably run a 2x4. Trying to remember what that looks like up there, or even a 2x6 all the way then bring my fascia board up and attach to that.
Well, that's what I had. I just lowered it right here. Let's see. I got the fascia board on there, right?
Yeah.
But the question is how. And see, I had it like this. I had two 2x4s.
Yeah.
You know, but I wonder if you need. That's going to force you. The reason I'm saying that is because it's going to force you to have more insulation up here. Because I don't think these humps are 1.5 inches tall.
You mean those rib things in there?
Yeah, these ribs in the roof.
Yeah, they look like they're about an inch.
Yeah.
So
see, a 2x4 would stick up 1/2 inch, let's say, right? So then you could get the tapered insulation that starts off with 1/2 inch, and then start your taper. Right. If I were to draw it as a section or whatever, you know, you'd have your.
I would probably just stick with drawing it flat and not worry about the taper, because I can modify it as I go along. This is not the kind of details that are going to be. Basically, if I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to look at my pictures. See.
Well, and I'm not. Yeah, and that's the thing. You're the type of person that can modify it as they go along, and it's not. You know, what I'm trying to do is kind of figure this out for
somebody who does it
for posterity.
Okay, so I'm looking at the picture of the roof, and those ribs, those pan things stick up. Let's say an inch and 1/8 or 1/4, and then you've got the flat rail there. So I'm gonna have to fill in from the I-beam up to the top of that pan with something. You know, even if it's 2 layers of treated plywood, and then my foam can set then even on top of those ribs to the plywood, and then I can add a 2x4 perimeter. That gives me somewhere to attach my fascia.
Well, I mean, the way I've got it, I don't know if you can see the way I've got it. I'm going to move this fascia out of the way for a second. Okay, so let me take this off. Okay, that 2x4. So right now, I have a 2x4 on top of the channel, right?
Yeah, but that won't fit between the pan. Send this picture to you.
There's about you know what people have been doing, or what the other fellow was going to do was notch out the 2x4 on the edge so it would fit. Because really trying to bolt down plywood there, I don't know.
But I can. So I basically have to rip a 2x4 down to maybe a 2x3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then bolt that to the I-beam.
Yeah.
And then bring my ISO board over. And so at the edge, instead of running my insulation all the way, then I'll put another full 2x4 on top of that, 1.5 inches.
But see, that's gonna okay, and that's fine. I can show it that way. It's gonna force you to. Let me get this 2x4 in the right place. I think this. It's not hanging over. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that 2x4 right there. Can you shrink that down to like a say 2x3?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll make this a 2x3, and then let me move the insulation. The thing about it is, the insulation, You see, then you're only going to have about an inch, a half inch sticking up. Even if you cut this down a half inch this way, 1.5, right? And now it looks like it'll fit. It's going to be.
I'm just gonna have to rip. I'm gonna have to rip something custom. I'm going to rip a 2x3 down to the height of those ribs. Yeah, see, I'm going to have to rip that down to 1.25 inches. A 2x3, I could even put a 2x2. No, I want to use a 2x3. And I'll just have to rip it down to like 1 inch, 1.25 inches, whatever that rib height is.
And then you would put this, the insulation would come out to the edge of that.
I would, and then on top of that ripped down 2x3, I would put another 2x4 and then butt my insulation against that.
Okay.
So my insulation doesn't, because I'm just going to roll that rubber. Yeah, see, I'm going to, that insulation, now on top of the 2x3 that we're going to custom rip.
Right.
I'm going to put another 2x4.
Right, that's what I'm doing right here.
Okay, yep. And then I butt my insulation against that.
I get it to go down. What the heck? Sometimes I can't get it to go down. There we go. And then that's what I started out with this morning. That's what we had yesterday. And this comes over kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then the fascia would just go. Then you'd put this 2x6 up around the edge.
Yep. Yeah, I would actually bring it all the way. Yep.
Let's see. Not sure why I'm having trouble getting my corners lined up this morning. There we go. Okay, and so you're not going to worry about it being a slope, tapered then.
No, and if I do, I'll modify it.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be. It can be. You're not going to have any water that sets over there. Maybe on the north side, you would have a little bit of ice that might, settle in any any concaves in the foam, but it's not critical to rubber. I mean, they say rubber can be underwater for 72 hours before they consider it a ponding situation. But I've seen rubber roofs that's had water on them for 20 years and never heard them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like that. So then when I bring my rubber or TPO, I may take the edge of that fascia and round it off with a router to make it rounded. And then I'm just going to come over and I'm going to terminate right to that fascia board with aluminum term bar and pole barn screws. That's how we do mobile home roofs.
What does that termination bar look like?
It's just about 8 feet long. It's got holes every 6 inches, and we put what we call gum pucky tape on the back of it.
What do you call it? What kind of termination?
It's just called aluminum termination bar. There's several different styles. Now, if you want to make it look better, I'll incorporate that metal that you're talking about.
Well, I just want to kind of do it the way I want to show it.
See, there's Carlisle's. Yeah, there's several different styles of bar.
Just like here's a Carlisle.
Matter of fact, if you go up on your very top, keep going a little more so I can see the top picture. Where was that had a lip?
And there's a little bit of, you're right, there's a little bit of delay.
Right there. See that lip? You can put a bead of caulk then. There. Bead of EPDM caulk.
Like here, like one. Okay, so there's a little bit of delay. I'm gonna let the video catch up. So I'm look on this top row here. Do you see one that's familiar?
Yeah, the ribbed aluminum termination bar.
Right there. Okay.
Right there.
Now, how does?
I can't believe I don't remember you can't see me.
Yeah. So which way does that face? Does that part go against the rubber, the little grippy part,
Yes.
and that faces out? Oh, and then okay, because that's what you caulk. See, I'm used to this. What do we call those? What do we call those? What are they called? Something else. But anyway, yeah. It's normally though the roof is coming up like this, like you would do it on a wall, and the roofing would come up, right? And
Yes.
this would terminate it, and then you could put sealant in that where it folds out, where it leans out.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's typical. There's that would be good because that way, really, probably for your purposes and everybody else's, I would use that metal drawing that you have.
Yeah.
And because this is not going to be used.
Firestone Building Products presents Contractor E-Training.
Let's see if I can get
Place
to
the termination bar
See,
in
this
position.
is what I'm talking
and mark
about.
the holes
Normally,
as specified for the job.
the roofing would
Maximum
roll up
of
the
12 inches
wall.
on center.
Yeah. See that? Yeah, there you go. See how it's going? Looks like it's going up a wall.
Yeah, and then they would. This is how I'm used to seeing it. So I'm
Drill
on the
holes
fascia.
marked
And that,
areas.
yeah, I would use that because that's the standard, and I've modified the way I do things over the years.
But I'm gonna skip ahead, and of course he's doing it on masonry, but that's kind of it's an inverse method because now let me go back to the model. Your roofing's going to come and hang over. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just go ahead and show this angle.
Yeah, show the metal.
Show the metal because.
Yep.
I think what most people are going to end up doing is running they'll either run it over and let it fold over and then put this on top of it, or really what I would do is put the metal down first and then bring the rubber over and, adhere it down to the metal, right? That's how it's supposed to be done, right? I guess it depends on whether
They put what they call a cover tape around the perimeter, and that's where you get that buildup that you were talking about.
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
one picture.
Yeah.
So my rubber would run. I would take a piece of metal like that, run it on the edge, run my rubber, and terminate it to the face, so that there's no break in that rubber. I'm not relying on a laminated tape on the top of it, and I'm eliminating that bump up.
Does it? You run it all the way to the edge?
I would run my rubber down the face of that fascia.
Oh, okay.
Piece of metal, and then use one of those bars and terminate it.
I'm saying if you were going to use this metal, though.
Then you'd have to nail that down, and then you'd have to then put a 6-inch cover tape over the top of that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And that's pretty standard on commercial roofs.
Yeah, because at the corner it gets a little iffy. Now, what most people need to know is that sometimes when you see these EPDMs, you'll have like a parapet wall, and it'll run up and over.
Yeah.
And then and they just let it lap over, and then you'll have like a coping, right? Like
Yes.
on top of the wall.
Yes.
And this is
yeah.
this is a little different because we're trying to terminate it like it's a roof edge, without any slope on it.
Yeah, that's why if somebody was doing this and you don't have a parapet wall, that's why I'm saying we would take our rubber, take it down that fascia, and terminate a bar right there.
What would you do on the corner? Because you can't fold the.
Yeah, you fold the rubber. You just make a flag out of the rubber and you fold it.
Okay.
And you just pin it.
With the termination bar.
Yeah, I could probably take a picture.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's just hard.
Matter of fact, I got one right here. I can take.
It's hard to show in a drawing that way. That's why I probably just show this metal going around, and then You know, it'll be one of those detailed things.
Yeah. Well, this would just give you a. This will just give you kind of an idea of, just for giggles.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly how I envisioned it. Let me see if I can pull this up to let everybody see. I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was just trying to.
Yeah, it's not the bestest looking, but it's kind of acceptable standard on
I don't know. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that online? In my little, I'm holding the phone up to my little.
Yeah, I can see it good.
Let me see if I can hold it closer. So that's what Rex is talking about, and I knew that's what you were talking about. I don't like it. So
No, it's not the prettiest looking thing in the
no,
world.
I know, and it's not personal. It's just hi father-in-law, Nicholas Kramer. Who's father-in-law?
Oh, Nicholas is my son-in-law.
Oh, I thought he was talking to me. I was like, hey, what in the world? But yeah, okay. So so if you don't mind, I'll just show that metal going around like it would.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'll probably do what you show, because it does look so much nicer. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to spend all the money on this thing and make it look
well. What you're doing is probably the better way to do it, because you're right. You will get that. If you do it this way and you don't do it exactly right, you'll get that standing water on the edge. You know.
And another thing too is, remember, I'll have a gutter up there, so I'm going to have a gravel stop metal on the ends, and that gravel stop keeps water from pouring over the ends.
Just
but
on
the long run, I'm going to have a piece of gutter.
Okay, but
so it's going to hide. As a matter of fact, that termination bar is going to be inside the gutter. You won't even see that termination bar.
The problem with the problem with the termination bar is it actually will, if it's, you know, if you don't completely fill up that top, that area, it'll just hold water.
What we do is we put a 3/4 inch or 1 inch strip of this stuff we call gum pucky. Comes in a roll.
Yeah.
It's a butyl. It's not the clay base. It's the
right.
butyl base. We put that on each bar, and then we use a pole bar screw with a rubber washer, and I've done it for 20 years, never had a leak yet.
No, I know you don't have leaks. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about any of it, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to figure out how to show it so that it, you know.
Yeah, and that's the kind of a detail that, you know, I can share with somebody. Here's an alternative way of doing it when I get it all done.
Yeah.
A little video on YouTube. But the way that you're doing it now is the way it would be spec for a commercial building.
Well, and then, but in your case, the water would roll over the edge easier, you know.
Yes, it wouldn't be anything backing water up.
Yeah, so if I can figure out how to show it that way, and it's clear to people, then I'll just. I mean, see, a lot of times in a drawing, you know, when you're going to be looking at this, you know, you're going to be looking at the drawing. You know how this is, you know. It's from a distance, and you can't see anything, right?
Right.
So what I have to do is do a detail for that, and what I might do is show like an alternate detail, show one this way, and then show one your way. You know.
Yes.
For future.
Yeah, alternate detail. Yeah, that would be
for like a future reference kind of thing.
There's no doubt the way that you have that metal, that's how they do it on. If we were doing a building for a customer, that's how we would do it, and then your gutter could slip underneath that metal.
Yeah, and that's what our little kick out here is for, to get that. So, okay, Well, I'll do that. I'll work on that, and then I'm gonna put the siding on here. Do you want to? You know what's funny about this? Last night I was this instead of I don't dream of like girls or whatever. I dream about construction details, which is kind of a curse. So I was thinking last night it would be cheaper to go ahead and put a door here than to probably buy OSB and framing and siding but the reason I thought about that was to go through all the trouble of building it like separate, and then even the siding you could even have metal trim around this and infill the siding, so that you could just take it out later. But I thought, man, all that's going to cost as much as a door, So I don't know.
Yeah, this is going to be built in stages. It's in the beginning. It's just going to be drive-through, and then budget-wise, as I go along, I'll add all the components like the overhead doors and.
So are you gonna fill this hole in the beginning, or are you gonna?
In the beginning, it's probably going to be dry. I'm going to be driving through it.
So it'll just be left open like that.
Well, I'm going to have it finished like you got it drawn. Yeah, there you go. So,
No, what I'm saying is,
I'm going to have a door in one end for certain. The other end, I'm not too concerned about the, all that material that I put in there. I'll put it in such a way that I can take it all out and reuse it.
Okay, so I'll leave the wall
So
because
it's not wasted.
yeah. Okay.
In other words, I'll sheet that thing in such a way that I'll just unscrew it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you went ahead and framed in the header, and all that, and then you had just even a temporary wall, that wall could even have studs on 2-foot centers or something. Let's see if I can still edit it. That could be 24 inch. You wouldn't have to do much. Update. Can I update it? Oh well. This wall you could just be like an infill wall, right?
Yep.
And then I'm like you. What I would cut the OSB so it was already ready to take out.
Yep. I could actually just unscrew that thing and just drop that wall down and lift it out of there.
So what I was wondering is on what are you on the siding out here? Do you want me to show it as?
I would put I'd put vinyl on there because I've got boxes and boxes of good grade vinyl that
Oh, you mean like horizontal?
Yeah, like a 4-inch vinyl.
Like it's horizontal or vertical?
It's horizontal, and the other thing too is over on the short side, those short upper walls. I'm probably going to put, instead of metal, I'm probably going to put a vertical vinyl there, a white vertical vinyl.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Or I may use metal. It's whatever I find. Sometimes I pick up stuff. I picked up $10,000 worth of Anderson windows for like $800 for a new house we're going to build because this company was moving and they just wanted to get rid of this stuff. So I find stuff like that all the time.
And then I guess the vinyl siding's easy enough to take off. Would you like run J mold around this and stock the siding so you could take it out easy, or would you just show it going over the whole thing?
I would probably trim it, put a trim board, and then put my J channel against that trim board.
Oh, like you're going to have the garage door?
Like I'd have the outside, yeah. I'd prep it ahead for the garage door. If I never put it in, I never put it in. But
okay.
It's again, I can just.
Well, that's how I'll show it then. I'll show it like that, and I'll go back and because I can show that I should be able to turn on. If I can't turn this on, I'll just draw it on there. It's no big deal. But I should be able to edit this door and turn the trim on. Let's see. Exterior trim, yes. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I just use that AZAC. I have
Yeah.
I have a similar product friend of mine got like 2 semi loads of it for almost next to nothing. It was slightly defective, and he's been building. I've been using that stuff for years.
What is it called? What do you call it?
It's like AZAC, or it's a plastic composite wood. That decking, that composite decking.
Oh yeah. Oh.
It's a white trim board. It's called AZAC. It's kind of Lowe's sells it. It's expensive, but I've got, I don't use any wood trim on exterior. I use all of that.
We'll use like Mirtec or Hardy. The Mirtec's like an engineered. I think it's probably close to the same.
Yeah.
As where's my edit? I can't talk and. That's crazy. I was able to edit this door. Anyway, I'll fix this trim. I know it's not going to stick over like that. For some reason, the guy who makes this extension for doors thinks that people let their, they're going to notch their siding around this.
No, yeah, that's the old mission style trim.
Yeah, you might do that on the inside of the house, but not on the.
Yeah, not on the outside.
Not on the outside. Let's see. Oh, quit. Door trim. Trim header width. It would be 3.5. It would be just like the sides, and it would not have an extension. 0. Update. Like that. And then your J mode will just go around it.
Yeah, I've even seen him take this AZAC material. It's 1 inch, and actually router or cut a built-in J channel, so you don't even use a J channel. You just slip it behind there.
Huh. I'm surprised people would go through that much trouble when it would be easy just to put J channel.
Well, this is on kind of high-end houses.
Yeah. Well, okay, we don't use vinyl siding on high-end houses, okay?
Well, they actually, that's true, but what they're probably using is a Hardy plank.
Yeah.
But they're using AZAC trim on all the windows and everything. And so
yeah.
That goes in behind a built-in channel.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. I was just kidding when I said that anyway.
Although there's some vinyl out there that is, oh my word, it's $190 a square.
Oh, I know. I've put it on. Yeah, I've put it on before. But a lot of these, high-end houses will use. I've even put slate on the outside of some of these. 0. So.
Where do you find slate? Old barns?
Vermont.
Yeah, I've got a friend that's got a bunch of it that from an old barn where I grew up. He bought the property, and they tore down that barn and saved all that slate roof. I remember that slate roof from 1967.
There's a company called Vermont Slate where we get it, and it's made for roofing or siding.
But it's brand new product.
Oops. Yeah, it comes out of a quarry. It comes out of a quarry up there in Vermont, but it's really expensive. And when you said high-end houses, that was the first thing I thought of. It was like.
Yeah, we're talking a friend that builds on the lake up here. We're minimum $1 million, but mostly $2 million.
Yeah, and then we had this. I don't know if you've ever heard of this Ludovici roofing. It's handmade clay tiles. We did a garage for this high-end home, high-end homeowner, and the garage cost more than when I built my house. It was kind of funny. All the materials we put in it. But
yeah, I can believe it.
All right, well, I'm going to work on this some more. I'm gonna go ahead and put the roofing on here and all that metal trim, and I'll put all the metal trim around here and the roof up there and the siding. And that's going to be really boring for people to watch, so I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it after lunch.
Yeah, that looks good. And someday, when I've actually got a company designing the trusses for me now, but I'm going to have to call them because you made a point about. I told them I need the roof roof trusses, and actually I need to get them designed for as a roof/floor truss. Wait, because I might put an attic room truss on that flat top someday.
And there's really not that much difference, to be honest with you. I mean, the only difference is in the depth, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, because a roof, you could probably get by with a 16-inch roof truss, but it would be, say, 24 inches deep for what you're wanting to do.
That's what I'm thinking, and if, the chances of me putting that room up there is not real high, but, I mean, as far as a room up there, but I want that option.
Yeah. And they're not that much more expensive. I mean, to go from 16 to 24, you're talking probably, $30, $40 a truss. It's not that big a deal, really, to just go ahead and use the 24-inch trusses, 24-inch deep trusses. They're all going to be 3.5 inches wide. So, you see, there's not that much difference. All right. Well, thanks, Rex. I'm gonna start working on this, and I'm gonna put my headphones on and listen to some music, and while I'm doing it, and work on it. And
funny to me, it's not boring. It's like this is the best movie I.
Oh, I know. It's just tedious because it's like the siding and trim, because the computer. I mean, I don't have it'll only do so much for you. Like for an example, where's this? Like this metal. Here. First of all, I can't just snap it to the corner like I was saying yesterday because of the way the graphics work. You see, you'd be able to see through it. So I got to raise it up a little bit, like a quarter inch, and then I got to pull it out like a quarter of an inch, and then I got to get it flush with the end, and then I got to run it down. It's kind of tedious, So if I go down, say 40 feet, and then I'll go down there, and I'll fix it because I know it's too long. So it's like hold my shift key down. So I mean, it's not like Chinese water torch or anything. It's just a lot of tedious stuff, And
I think what's interesting for me is using SketchUp. I'm kind of getting an idea how to use SketchUp, but like I told my wife, I said he's got years using this software. I said anybody can play with it, but to get it to not frustrate the crap out of you. That takes years of practice.
Yeah, and just once you get used to all the little tools and all the tricks, like I realized I had made this little roof a component. So if I cut this out and I double click on that roof and I paste it back, then it'll be over. Then I've already got it over here. See?
Yeah.
Because I made that. Because I was
one of those skills I'm not gonna spend the time to learn. I'm gonna hire a professional and leave them alone.
I figured that we would end up playing with this. I didn't know if you were going to put like wedged insulation or what. So I made it so that at least I could do that. Save a little bit of heartache, pain. But it's for me the fun is like the initial design work. Well, now see, this is going to be. Now see, I need to create a. I'm just going to run this over there wild, and then I need to.
That metal needs to be like a gravel style.
I was going to say.
Lip that comes up.
Yeah, I'll have to edit this one. I'll have to. Well, that's not what I meant to do. Have to drag it back. And the thing is, the computering power, that you have. You'll notice sometimes it'll lag up a little bit. Well, I got a pretty expensive computer, and it still lags sometimes. when you start at these containers with all these little faces on them. See what hurts you in a SketchUp drawing as far as memory on your computer are all these little faces, you know.
Yeah.
And you got two containers in here, and it's having to regenerate every one of those faces every time I move. You know, it's regenerating,
Right.
and it's quite the takes quite the computing power.
Yeah, you need a high-end gaming one. Like my son, I have a son who's a computer engineer, and he builds for his siblings. He builds these high-end gaming computers, and man, those things are powerful.
Oh, this is an MSI. It's an MSI G. Let's see, G75. It's got a RTX 2080 graphics processor in it, so it's
Pretty high-end.
I bought this laptop whenever I was doing that animation work for that metal building company. I don't know if you saw that video, but on my website I've got the finished. I did this. You can go look at it sometime. Let's see, websites, AT Drafting. I got a little article right here on it. I did this animation work, and then Metal Pro Buildings went and had their marketing department, put the label on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is the animation I did for them.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, I won't bore everybody with that, but that was to do that video. That's why I had to get this, because it was the animation work is really taxing on you. Oh, it only took me 4 months to do that one. So. Yeah, it was pretty expensive too. So most people won't. Well, I'll just give you an example of how much trouble it is. Like, you have to set up every scene. Like, every one of those scenes you were seeing had to be set up. It's kind of difficult to even explain. Like if I wanted to show this, even just this metal moving, right? I'd have to set it up first. I'd have to take it and move it back. Where is it? Did I even grab it? Grab the wrong thing here. You have to be in the right mindset too, because you cannot be in any kind of hurry. So if let's say I move it back 10 feet, okay, and I want to show just putting that one piece of metal on there. Here's my little thing. Version. Oh man, my animator expired. Now see, I have to go. I got to go update my animator software. This version of Animator has expired. Please upgrade to the latest version. Oh, good Lord. Anyway.
They just want some more money out of you.
No, I got to deal with this guy, Fredo. He's a French guy, and he lets me have it. But and I talk nice about him. But anyway, you have to set it there, and then you have to set up an action where you have to tell it, okay, it's going to move 10 feet this way, and then, then you got to set up camera angles and all this stuff. Just for that one thing, it would probably take me 10 minutes to set up moving that piece of metal 10 feet,
Wow.
Now I'll take this whole building, Oh, if it was easy, you'd be seeing animations all over the place on YouTube. You know what I mean?
I never realized how complicated that was, and
It's not complicated. It's not. It's just. It's a lot of work. It's not complicated.
yeah,
It's just a
and
lot
I'm
of.
sure there's
Yeah.
I'm sure there's software that you can spend $100,000 and probably.
Well, no, there's a this. If I go back to this animator is not that. It's I just need to download the new version. The thing is, when I updated to 2021, this is the new version of SketchUp for 2021, and so I have to go. All these extensions I have to go update them, and let's see. Yeah, okay, good. But anyway, I'm gonna go. Probably what I'm gonna do is grab a little lunch, and then because I eat lunch around 11:30, and then because I like to eat early and get it over with, and then start working again on this. So I'm gonna cut off my live stream now. Let me see if I have any comments from anybody. Am I? Yes, it's a little bit. What? Yes, it's just a little. What? What's Richard saying? All right, well, guys, I know this has probably been boring listening to me and Rex talk, but it's work. I'm doing this for Rex, and that's what we do at atdrafting.com. So, thanks, Rex, for being on, and after I get all this siding and roofing on and trim, we'll get back online again. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
All right.
All right. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you guys out there in YouTube land too. I appreciate it.